Somebody told me, well, I manage 5,000 people. How can I ask everybody? No, you don't manage 5,000 people. You manage 10 direct reports. Just talk to those 10 and find out. Let them manage their 20, etc., etc. Nobody manages 5,000 people directly. Yeah? How do you manage, measure, and reward performance? Interesting. Anywhere in the world you go, employees are encouraged to write stretch KPIs. Go above and beyond. Whereas 80-20 tells you that only 20% are going to achieve those stretch goals. Why have a disappointing conversation for the rest of the year if you know that only 20% are going to achieve them? What if you told people, look, you have the freedom to be anywhere on this curve. You want to be here? Just tell me you want to be here. I'll give you minimum goals. But be careful about two things. You will be paid at the minimum level. And if I decide that you're falling below the minimum without questions, I'll fire you. With that responsibility, you want to be here? Yes, boss, because you know what? My real passion is theater. I am doing this job just to pay the bills. I will do the minimum. I'll do it well. Pay me the minimum, no problem. Is there something wrong with this honest conversation? No. Boss, I was here, but I've just given birth to 2 lovely twins. I'm a young mom. I want to move here now for the next 3 years. But after that, boss, I want to come back here once my kids are good. Can I be here, boss, for 3 months? And I don't mind you not paying me top bonuses. Pay me average for 3 years. Anything wrong? No. That's the open source era. So what if we said, give them minimum instead of stretch goals, let them self-manage. Many companies have a value in their list of values. It's called ownership. Well, we ask them to act like owners, and then we keep putting them into boxes of rules. Set them free. And I don't have time to go into this, but there's lots of examples in the book of companies that tried this, and productivity and performance overall went up, not down. Why? Because your top 20% will produce 80% of the results anyway. And the other 80 now are free. There's no stigma. So they do their job with more happiness also. And what about unlimited vacations? Now, that's why Auntie Bella said, who is this Rajeev? Who is this fellow? Unlimited vacation. But it's not just Rajeev, Auntie Bella. All of these companies are already doing it and more. I was in Silicon Valley recently, and somebody said, well, this started in Silicon Valley, and it was abused. Nobody takes vacation when you say minimum vacation because they want to show that they work hard. Well, the answer to that is to have a 2-week floor, not a cap. Even in a hospital with emergency services, this works in Canada, where the team is empowered and make sure that the right people are there in the operation theater. If somebody needs 5 weeks at a stretch, they talk to their manager, it's okay. You measure output, not input. And you tell people, you reap what you sow, you are the owner of your job, you decide, I'm not going to breathe down your neck, and therefore it frees up managers to breathe down people's necks, and you can focus on the top 20% who need your mentorship to go from good to great. Open source era, ladies and gentlemen. I'm almost there. Finally, how do you measure employee engagement? This is the best part. Raise your hand if your company does an annual or a biannual employee engagement survey. Oh, very good. So chances are it goes something like this. You fill out a big form of about 200 items. It goes into some anonymous server. All items, every employee's score is averaged, and then senior management gets the top 10 and the bottom 10 scores, and then there's a big meeting between HR and senior management. What can we do about the bottom scores to prop up the numbers next year, right? Yeah? Question. What happens to the voice of the top 20% if you average the data? It drowns under the voice of the remaining 80, doesn't it? And these are the people who produce 80% of your results. Sometimes they're so busy they don't even fill out the survey. Right? So, are you promoting mediocrity or are you promoting excellence? My case rests. I cannot understand why nobody in 50 years has not pointed out this basic fallacy in employee engagement surveys, and millions upon millions are spent every year on this. Worthless data. It doesn't tell you anything about real motivation and real engagement because it doesn't get to the energy question. Now, our recommendation in the book is do not do employee engagement surveys at all. But if you must instead do a culture-based 360, which the book details. But if you must do an employee engagement survey, at least do it in a segmented way. Ask the top 20 what their needs are. Ask the middle 60 what their needs are. Ask the bottom 20. The middle 60 and the bottom 20, as I explained, are not bad people. Their needs are different. Understand their needs. We live in the age of big data. HR has the data on the curve already. Ask them the same survey questions separately. That's all you need to do. But nobody does it. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me conclude with motivating employees with extrinsic rewards and managing closely was the old closed source era. In the open source era, let's align pre-existing energy. You cannot motivate anybody. You can utilize my motivation, but you cannot motivate me. Find my intrinsic motivation, set me free, and I'll give you more. So in closing, leadership energy trumps competencies and best practice behaviors. Having the right values and worthy purpose is much more important today because everybody is naked. Emotional integrity, the courage to know what I want for myself, and admitting it to myself must come before emotional intelligence, something I didn't touch on, but you can read. Positive autocracy. Innovation and talent are abundant, not scarce, but they must be crowdsourced. Technology allows you to do that. Motivation is self-driven, not by the boss anymore. Intrinsic motivation, at least as important. Minimum goals, and allowing people to choose where they want to be on the curve. And finally, if you must do an employee engagement survey, segmented is the way to go. Thank you very much.